Yo, what's up, guys? This is Minju with Tuna.
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
So I know you must be really surprised to see that we actually have a different type of podcast going on right here.
Yeah.
Right? Because the initial Way of BJJ podcast has now turned into like an interview conversation
Which
thing
is
with
good.
guests. Have
It's
you
good.
been listening to it?
Yeah, I like it. I was listening to it in the Philippines. Get me still be part of it by just at least listening to it.
I know.
It's good.
Yeah, you were gone. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I have to.
Well, I like how you just kicked it up a notch, and then it's actually makes sense. And so it was like, hey, what kind of stupid stuff we're gonna talk about? But now
No, it's all
interviewing,
on-
there's
yeah,
like
it's all on the guest,
content,
yeah.
and then it's doing what I actually wanted to do. And then I think what we're all about. People think we're just a school, but what we are is we want to promote jiu-jitsu.
We're promoting jiu-jitsu.
And
promoting
everybody.
good schools, promoting
People that we support and love and that supported us.
Yeah, but then the downside is that a lot of people actually miss just us two just talking
Yeah.
shit and being funny and stuff.
But we'll have that. There's
So
gonna be a
that's why
lot of that.
That's why we're doing this. So this is it's still under Way of BJJ the podcast, but it's a different kind of show.
Yeah.
We're gonna call this Into the Dojo.
Yes,
Right.
because we're in the
dojo.
yeah, but into
Instead of enter the
Yeah.
dojo, which I think somebody else already
they
took.
can have it. We'll just make this more popular.
Exactly. Yeah, so think of this as a brand new show under the Way of BJJ banner, and we're going to be releasing this once a week as well. And then this is when we talk about like the
Why we're here.
why we're here. We're actually going to be using this to plug the shit out of the Way of BJJ app.
On why like people are like, oh, what's these guys? They just probably want attention. They just want to like, oh, look at us.
Oh, we do.
Pay attention.
We want that too.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at me.
Well, or maybe you're ready because you've been training hard. I've been hiding in a cave because it's like, oh my god, my shoulder.
No, you're like, you're like,
Not yet.
Don't look at me. Not yet. Not yet.
Because you know what? In the past, I'm Tuna. I don't know if a lot of people know me, but like in the BC, a lot of people know me, and everybody wants to like kick my butt in a good way.
Right. And then on the regular show with the guests and everything,
Yeah.
right, I try not to talk about the app because I don't want it to feel like we're using them as clout.
Yeah, no, it's just them. It's just
to promote our own shit, right? So,
It's
but
just
with
for them.
this show now,
Yeah, we're gonna whore the crap out of this.
Right, it's all about
Hi,
promoting the app.
my name is Ryan. Grew up in East Van, and I need your support.
Yeah, you're the real East Van boy.
Yeah, I actually live in East Van, not in like some other place. Not saying.
Oh man.
If
Yeah.
you get it, you get the joke.
I know. Well, you know what? Let's get into it then. Right? So because it's all really about the app now.
Yes.
Right? Because we're so close. So by the time that this episode is released, you can actually support us. If you like what we do, if you feel like all the content we've been doing in the past 2 years has been helpful to you, and you want to support us, go ahead. Go to the App Store, whether it's Apple or Android.
Just go get it.
Just go and subscribe to the Way of BJJ app. So in this show, we're going to talk about how we're using the app for our own semi-private training students.
Yes.
And then also we're going to talk about how we are using it personally,
Yeah.
on a personal level to help us train our jiu-jitsu. So this way you can get some ideas, and you can implement that into your own strategy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about what's happening in the Way of BJJ app right now for the class?
Well, last week, I taught wrestling. Yeah, that's right. Tuna taught wrestling.
Well, you didn't teach wrestling. You taught standing engagement for jiu-jitsu.
Yes,
It's different.
That's better to put it. Standing. I like how you put that. Very well
It's
put,
different
senpai.
because we weren't teaching
Because I'm not a
We
wrestler.
weren't teaching wrestling for shit.
But for me, what I found before, right, and then I'm asking myself, like, why do other jiu-jitsu guys kind of like so scared of taking someone down? Because a lot of them, like, especially for our demographic, the one we're having in school, a lot of them are like older people that like have bad knees that just don't want to fall and just don't want to get hurt. And then for me, wrestling was kind of like high anxiety because it was just in my head, it was just like standing up, then to take them down. And there's this big gap in between, right? So, but I asked myself, why is it when I do jiu-jitsu, I don't have that anxiety? I have pretty low anxiety. Well, because my jiu-jitsu is pretty filled up. It's not just like, for some people when they're starting, they're like, because they're like on their knees, and then somehow they have to get an arm bar and not get fucked up, right? But, and they asked me, why is my anxiety low for jiu-jitsu? Well, because it's not just on my knees or my butt. It's just like, I have a whole bunch of mini goals I accomplish. And then, so it's all about, so I'm not really thinking of like the arm bar, right? I'm just thinking of what's my next step.
Right.
And then, so with when I was teaching the standing engagement for jiu-jitsu, I asked myself, well, what's something that I actually know pretty well that like I've been doing for a long time, and then that like someone showed me, and it's actually 2-in-1. I've been doing 2-in-1s for a long time. So I just really just in the past when I've been hurt myself, I just focus on that 2-in-1, right? Because I tried like drilling my shooting, I can do it, but it's not like willful. It's just like, and I don't want like someone to sprawl on my bad shoulder, right?
Right.
So I've been working on 2-in-1, but because of that, I find that like my anxiety is not as high anymore. Because now instead of like, I'm over here, I'm just thinking, oh, I gotta somehow get them down. It's just like, no, my first goal is just to get that Russian 2-in-1.
Right.
Once I have the Russian 2-in-1, then my mindset will go to another thing. It's just like whatever it is that it gives me to go from there.
Yeah, so the cool thing about the app is that you can actually translate all that in your head right into the app. So the students can actually
see it.
Can actually see it, and then they can get an understanding of
Yeah.
how you see the
thing, because otherwise, like, oh, what next Tuna's talking about? It's always talking about weirdly, right?
Because I think one of the biggest issues with the other type of instructionals, right? The traditional type of instructionals is that, okay, so I mean the app it's for people who actually want to put in the work, right?
Yes.
If all you want to do is to buy instructional and say, hey, I have 8 hours of John Danaher talking about all the stuff, right? If that's all you want, you just want to collect and you don't want to put in the work of actually thinking about technique, then go ahead and buy those instructional. It's great, right? But with the app, now we can actually really start compartmentalize what's actually working. Well, how do you go from one thing to the next, right?
And it's also easier to watch. If you think about it, like we have technology now. It's kind of like 2-dimensional for instructionals to go from to find it in like 4 minutes, 30 seconds.
We joke about it all the time. They're still calling it fucking DVDs.
Yeah.
That just goes to show you how backwards
it doesn't have to be like that. And then there's some people who are just like, I know a lot of high-level guys. They have what if you're a nerd, I call it the Sharingan eye. Sharingan is in like Naruto, like his instructor says has like special skills where they call him the copycat ninja.
Right.
So he just sees something and then he's able to copy it. And a lot of high-level guys can just do that. They can just see something and then copy it. So they don't really need instructions.
So we'll actually get to that when we talk about what we're doing personally, because I was just listening to this high-level European dude named Owen O'Flanagan.
Yeah.
Right. He was in the last ADCC. He's the guy who
like brown belt in like 30 seconds.
He's the guy who beat Shande Hibero, and he's the guy who also beat. Who else did he beat? No, I mean, anyways, I was just listening to him talking about that exact thing, right? So now he doesn't watch instruction anymore. He actually watches like sparring footages from like New Wave, from like B Team, and then he just do that Sharingan thing, reverse engineer,
and it makes it work.
See, right?
I still believe in both. Sometimes I can just watch it and then like, stole it. Something's mine there. But it's also good to have the little details, right? So, and then I think with our app, it kind of like solidifies that.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. So what do we do with the 2-on-1? Right now this is still not like the perfect, ideal type of thing that we think the app can be doing, right? So we're constantly getting better. But for all intents and purposes, it's very functional right now, right?
And this one I organized like a mofo.
All right, let's see.
I'm proud of it.
So
we're gonna go to the screenshot on my app right here.
Yeah, so we're gonna have that screenshot right here.
That's to match it. So over here, you'll find that we have kind of like 3 colors, right, of circles. We have the green one, we have the red, and then the white one. So the green one is, I think, our starting and ending position, right? So standing, we start from both standing, and over here in the ending, I have your end and top open guard or top turtle. The red one is kind of like, I call it 0.5 position. So it's not like an official jiu-jitsu position. It's something that's just like part of a sequence. But it's like I said, I was saying earlier, it's like instead of going, have to start from standing to take down, it's like the little pit stop that you can go before you finish your
it's
a mini goal.
Yeah, so it's like a control position where a lot of good things can happen.
Yes. And today, last week, we worked on Russian 2-in-1. So I just spent a lot of time on, and here's Russian 2-in-1 over here. So the red one right there. And then what we started off the guy doing is they started from, someone has a collar tie on them. And then from the collar tie, they get to the 2-in-1. And then like, oh, that's neat. You have some words and some dots over there. Well, the neat thing about the app, if you press the collar tie, boom, it's got the instruction of me just doing the collar tie right there, right? And you can just rewatch it again. And then you're like, oh, that's neat. If you have Sharingan, that's all you need. But if you want a little bit more in detail, how you get that, you can just, on the bottom right over here, we have the breakdown. And then there's just me giving instructionals on how I go about it, right? It's more in-depth, right?
Right.
So, but for us, if you can already be like, I don't have time for this. I see it, I need it. But for people that just want more in-depth, there's the in-depth on it, right?
Nice.
So there's that option. Now, once you do the Russian 2-in-1 over here.
Yeah. So this is true for every single white dot.
Yes.
That's out there, right? Perfect.
And then now with 2-in-1, we have 3 options over there, right? One of my favorite ones is kind of easy. Is I just like to a single leg entry, right? So once you have the 2-in-1, all you have to do is just push your opponent, whoop, and pick up a single leg. And then that's it.
Nice.
And now it ends in a single leg position.
Nice, which is another super powerful position
Yes.
where tons of good things can happen, right?
And
I love that because because when you get the Russian 2-on-1, their initial reaction is always to try to jerk their arm out, right?
Yeah.
And then when they do that, then they give your leg. They give you their
Exactly.
leg, like right there.
2 things will happen. One, they will just be on your side, so you grab the leg close to you, or they'll start to face you, and they're getting focused on the arm. Then you switch to the other leg, right? So it's very easy to get.
Yeah.
And then once you're from there, it's just like if you have really good single leg takedown, then go for it. If you have shitty single leg, well, at least you got to the single leg. No, but I tell the
Which
students,
is a victory.
Which is a victory. If you can constantly get to have a single leg, but if they escape, I prefer that than getting a fluky takedown.
Right.
Because that means you can just work on your
Because you can
single leg.
eventually work on the finishes, right? Yeah.
And then I showed one, it's just simple stuff over here. It's just what Sakuraba does. He just grabs the single, turns and pushes his shoulder down, forcing the butt cheek that's like being held to just go touch the ground in a 45 degree.
Right.
And then with the same thing over
One
here.
of the classic finishes.
Yeah. So again, we're 2-in-1 over here. I don't have the videos for all of it yet, right? And then we have another thing I like to do is the mule kick over here. You just kick, forces your opponent to put their hand down, and then you have the back. So now instead of like going, oh, you're standing, I have to do a whole bunch of stuff. No, you just break it down to little bits by little bits, and then that's what we just worked on over there. And the best thing about this is, can I expand on it a little bit?
Yeah, go for it, man.
So people ask me, what do I YouTube, Tuna? What do I YouTube? Well, actually, I tell people if they're going to the students, if they're going to YouTube, I prefer them YouTubing matches first more than techniques, because if they just look at techniques, they're missing a lot of subtleties. Actually, you know what I mean? I would want them to watch matches so they get to understand what the fight is. And then when they watch techniques, they know exactly what technique to look for. But there's a billion techniques out there, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? If you got the app over here and you're like, oh, I like the 2-in-1. Is there other ways to enter the 2-in-1?
Right.
Now, yeah, there is. Just look up for the decision position and just Google search the Russian 2-in-1 entry. And then it'll show you, and then whatever entry you want, you can have it. And if you have the subscribed version of the app, you can add it and then collect it right there.
So this is a really cool thing about the app, right? When you go and subscribe and become our premium subscribers, then you can actually create your own trees and flowchart just like this, and then go onto YouTube and find whatever
research,
you want, and then just put them in there right onto your phone.
And that's the reason why, like, I was like, why we have the app too,
know.
right? Because I have so many just saved videos on my YouTube, but it's hard to go through them, right? But now,
and then it doesn't connect, right?
yeah. But now I just like, boom, I just find a guy I like, and then now it's easy for me to explain for students what to research. So like, and like, I don't know where to begin. I'm like, well, what do you, I like to get I'm pretty good at getting 2-in-1. Okay, good. I'm having problem when I have the leg. Perfect. If you don't like the one that I showed you, then there's really nothing wrong with that. It's like, because I'm only limited in one class, so I have to pick one. I can't show everything, right? And then they can like, look, if you're having problems single leg, well, actually now go look at single leg, right? We have the decision position over there, the red part, and look at a finish.
Yeah, can I expand on that as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right? Yeah, so the really cool thing about this is that because when we teach jiu-jitsu, if you only teach them like one option or two options, then what tends to happen is that if they don't get it, then they don't know where to go,
Yeah.
right?
Or they'll start again.
Then the progress becomes very slow.
Yeah.
So with this, we're actually not telling them you have to do this, right? These are like, hey, you know what? The most important thing is how to get this control.
Yes.
Once you have this control, then the tree shows them a couple different ideas they can play around
Yeah.
with.
They
right?
can
So-
either just
so
get good at it, or
yeah.
they can research
Yeah,
other
so it
stuff.
actually opens their mind to, okay, you know what? They understand where to focus their intention on the important battles, right?
Because I believe people who really get good, they listen to the instructor, right? But they also just expand their mind too.
You have
they,
to.
they study everywhere because not all moves is for everybody.
Yeah,
I believe in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My highest thing I know the most is sleight of hand, right? And then I've talked to some high level for this cards sleight of hand stuff, and I know everyone does stuff at the highest level differently, and they're all correct.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just it depends on whatever your performance style is, or their like physical body. And that's I believe the same thing for jiu-jitsu. If you ask the highest level people, they enter stuff subtly different. Not one is right. Well, when a white belt does it, it's 100% wrong. but it's not even about wrong. It's just because they're not approaching it correctly yet. They don't have the subtleties. But the highest level will do it differently because of their subtle personality. You know what I mean? And I think like my job as instructor is to just plant the seed, make sure the seed is it's a good seed that we planted, right? And we just nourish that it grows properly.
Nice.
Right?
For sure.
And then I don't want to say something like, this is the only way. I'm like, no, this is kind of like the guidelines I showed you, and then you can either stick within what I showed you and just master the crap out of it, or you can grow around it, right? If you find something, I still recommend if you're researching and you're kind of lower level, you know, experiment, but still talk to your coach. You know what I mean? If your coach is not insecure, they're gonna, oh, I didn't know that. You know, I don't want to say anything, but like a good coach will be like, oh, that's neat. Show that to me, and they'll be like, oh, that's kind of I don't that's not my style, but you're definitely killing it, but let me show you, maybe your arm is off, or watch out for this. You know what I mean?
They'll be able to give you the details that's going to help you out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Sweet. So-
and that's one thing I like about this app.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's definitely if your goal is to just get spoon fed with information that you're never gonna use, then this app is not for you.
Yeah.
Right. This actually requires you to
research.
to want to get better, to be invested in your own growth.
Yes.
As a jiu-jitsu
Or maybe
player.
it's good too if they just want to show up. Then they can go if they're like what I call like the golfer jiu-jitsu guys, where they're not really into golf. They just like to collect the golf clubs and say that
yeah,
they
sure.
golf. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then they can go, hey,
So-
hey James, hey, I went to jiu-jitsu today, and this is my tree.
So if they want to collect our sequences, how do they do that on the app?
Oh, it's very easy. First, when you sign up for the app, you'll usually sign up with your own gym, if your gym has it.
Or you can join our gym.
Or you can join our gym, right? And then you just go to my academy, and then you have a barcode that you can scan, and you can pick one.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Well,
That might change, right?
Yes,
So
but,
whatever.
but for now, and then you can go there, and then now, if you go to my classes right here, and then they have a whole bunch of classes happening, and then for me, what I had here, I just picked on the Nogi one,
Right.
and then
Yeah,
the
so
Russian
Russian
Tune one,
one.
and it's over there, and then I just click train, and then it'll take it to my training.
Nice.
Bam. I think that's how you do it.
Nice.
And then that's pretty much it. And then now you can just pretty much grow your own game. So here with this, if you don't subscribe,
Right. Yeah. So
if you don't,
I have to teach you how to use this again.
Yeah.
Right. You have to add it to
Training.
your
There we
training,
go.
brother. There you go, man. Now
And now it's in the training
when we
room.
go to the training room, voila,
boom, right there.
there it is.
So now you can,
So this is where you can collect the sequences and techniques that we have already curated for you.
Yes.
right?
Or-
if you are not down to do your own research.
yes. And then if you don't have this, if you don't subscribe, then you just get like the
shitty
the shit, not shitty version. You just get like the
basic-
golf version. Where you don't have to invest of your own. And then you know what? Some people don't want to invest on their own, right? They just want to go to class.
True.
And they just want to get what their teachers have.
True.
And because some people don't care to research, and you know what? They don't have to. They're not trying to. This is their fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. I prefer
Right.
that they have their fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're the kind of person that wants to take it to the next level, then you can.
Cool. So in the premium subscription level for the app, then you can actually do your own research, create your own
Yes.
sequences and everything, right? So what are you doing right now
Well,
with your own game?
I'm just gonna jot down all my stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the other thing I like about this, I'm a big nerd. I think I got pretty good. I was successful in jiu-jitsu beginning. Well, I was fat guy. I was fat and I did sleight of hand, which meant I already. No.
You were fat and then you got skinny and now you're fat again.
Yeah, and I'm fat again. But like I think what I had, I was big. Size doesn't matter, right? So I spend more time being offense than defensive with other
You know
people
what? I
starting.
take that back. Right now you're not fat. You're thick.
Thick,
It's
yeah.
different.
No, it's actually because if you look at my old self, big difference,
no,
right?
I was fat.
Yeah, I'm just fat to how you got me to be, right? But I'm still way lighter than how I was before. But I was just big over there. But I was always pretty good at moving my body.
Right.
And I was always pretty good at systemizing stuff because of my sleight of hand. So while people are just kind of panicking in the beginning, I just kind of like was aware of what I was doing with my body. But I think what made me good, and I did it myself, was I pretty much when I played RPG, some people just like max stat other stuff. That's what I just pretty much did. Since I was big, I just maxed stat all my offense. And then instead of working on escaping and whatnot, I just focused on like, instead of learning all the escapes for all the position, I was just like, I don't have time for that yet. Where's the crux of it, right? Where do they all link? And I'll just stat that up so I don't get into that position, right? And then spend more time on my offense. So what I'm excited about the app, what I did before is I just manually wrote that down.
Right.
And I would go be in the bus and I'd be like, oh, look at that. Look, this is my game. Oh, yeah, and my video game. But now we have it over here. And it's like, if you play RPG, you go to your like menu screen, you look at your stats.
Nice.
You have that right here, right now.
Nice. Yeah. Do you have something in your game to show right now, or are you still working on it?
I'm still working on it.
All right, that's okay, man. Yeah, so I can talk about how I've been using it.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool, man. So, I'll put the screen recording here because we're actually using my phone to do the video. But I can tell you, man, like the what I'm finding to be really, really useful for me right now is that, when I'm researching like a new position. So recently I've been looking at the Z-lock, right?
Yeah.
Because that has been something that's been hidden. People have been hitting it at the ADCC and in some of the higher level competitions, right? And then it's something that I'm not exactly sure where it is, right? So I was looking on YouTube, right? Then I found this guy named Robert Digo, or Digo, I think it's yeah. So this guy, so he has a really cool, a very concise, detailed instruction on how to do to get into the Z-lock position that he calls diagonal ashi.
Yeah.
Right. So you start from the cross ashi position, then there's like the series of manipulations for you to get into that, right? So of course it's something that if I were just watching it on YouTube, and then
You just watch
then
it.
I'm gonna watch it, and then I have to like try to remember it, and then when I go to the gym, then I have to like
Find
somehow
a thing, find the 45 seconds.
Yeah, whatever. I take my phone. Well, dude.
Yeah.
It's so shitty, right? So what did I do instead? So I took out the app. So I created.
Your tree.
Yeah, I created. Yeah, I'll put it right here, right? So I created a simple flowchart of, hey, how do I go from cross ashi into diagonal ashi, and then
What do you do from
to
there?
go into the Z-lock, right?
Yeah.
So I was able to put that, and then the video he put on YouTube is like he filmed like his seminar. So those videos are like fucking 40 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, how do you find that nice stuff, right?
So I was able to use the app to just clip the section down.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? This is the best angle in the entire video, and this is the best explanation that he did.
Yeah.
So let me just clip that
part.
2 minutes of
Nice.
it. Right. So I took that part and put right into the app.
Yeah.
And then when I go into the Z-lock, then because every single dot that we have, the white movements, we
Yeah.
can put 2 videos in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the Z-lock finish, this is what I did. For the first video, I actually found a clip of Joseph Chen hitting that on Derek Rayfield.
Yeah.
Right. So I took that match out, and I took that exact clip out.
Nice.
And then put it into the first video, so this way I can see like Z-lock in action, right?
And the second one was
Right.
your
And the
explanation.
second one is the detailed
Sick.
explanation from the same seminar, right?
So when I watch it, if I don't want to watch the explanation, I can just watch it in action.
Yeah.
And
So-
then if I want to know more about it, I'd be like, boom.
Yeah. So I was able to go to open that, right? And then I found a dumbass who's willing to help me work
Let you
on
drill it.
work in this extremely dangerous position. And then all I had to do is like take out the phone, hit on that dot, then it plays it exactly the
Position.
the position that I need,
Yeah.
right? And then I was able to figure it out. So
Nice.
yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to doing that more, to start expanding on all the other aspects of my game, you know?
And you know what's good about thing about like this too, right? It's like I believe in if you drill in your mind. So the way I see it is like we have moves, right? And then if people are just like new, they don't use it much, the moves are scattered all over their brain, right? I believe in like kind of mental training. It sounds so weird. There's something in magic where you steal someone's watch, right? And there's actually a video of it's kind of funny, off subject, but it's a video of it's a video of Drake. He had a nice watch, and someone went to grab it like this, and like, why did someone do that? Try to grab Drake's watch like that? And I'm like, I know why, because that motherfucker was gonna do a watch steal, but Drake noticed that. Because if Drake didn't notice that, he just went like this, he would have stolen the watch. Anyways, I mentioned that because watch steal is something you drill in yourself, but it's so ballsy. Because if you fail, you're stealing someone's watch as a magician, right?
Right.
And then like you can't go, oh, it's a magic trick. They'll be like, you're a thief, right? Because usually if you steal it, then you'll show a reveal. Then you didn't steal it. In their head, it just disappeared. But to drill kind of shit like that, like for me, I had to do a lot of visual training. Because there's one thing to drill it, and then the timing on real people is totally different.
Right.
Right. And then for a magician, you can't mess up. You know what I mean? On your first, you could, but you're a shitty magician, right?
Right. That's a high stakes situation.
Yeah. So you have to. I believe in mental drilling, right? And then with how our app works is perfect because now imagine if like the best to explain it, it's like you're a city butterfly, right? So when I first started, you're a butterfly, and then you ask yourself, what am I gonna do? And so like high stress. Well, butterfly. What are my moves? I arm drag, and I get the back. I finish, and then I arm drag. The guy puts his feet down, right? Then I switch from the arm drag, I go to ankle pick, right? I arm drag, the guy puts my feet down, he's aware of his ankle pick, his base, then I'm just gonna switch to reverse de la Hiva, spin, get the back, right? And then so I just keep going through all of those with my mind whenever like I'm bored. And then now with the app, it's pretty much, that's what it is. It's pretty much what our mind have, but it's visual form. And then, because when I see it, it's just like, you start from here, you just keep going through your track. And then I think the app, like when I'm breaking something down, it helps me organize it. There's like a visual thing outside my mind and what's there. And pretty much the app is like a metaphor of exactly how your like neurons in your mind work.
Right.
So I'm just excited about that part.
Dude, it's so awesome. Yeah. So again, we'll be doing these episodes every single week, so you can follow along on the progressions of the app. But if you like what we're doing, you want to support us, once again, go to the App Store, download it, and subscribe to the app, and let us
Check
know.
out what we have.
Let us know how you like it.
Yeah.
And let's get on this this amazing ride together, and we'll see you.
Don't miss out. Be part of the wave because
It's coming.
yeah, in the end, everyone's gonna be using this.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Show me the money.